One of the topics that comes up a lot in my office is trust. This is a very big topic and we're not going to be able to cover all of it in one speech. But one of the things that comes up over and over again is, how can you know if you can trust somebody? How can you know if you can trust somebody who you used to trust, who's betrayed you? And how can you know if you can trust somebody that you've just met? So there are lots of things that you can do. One of the things you can do is pay attention to what your gut tells you more than what your head tells you. And you will notice the difference if you think about where information's coming from. Do you notice something going on in your gut, or do you notice something going on in your head? We often find ourselves making up stuff in our heads that's based on other people, old relationships, or previous experiences. But this has nothing to do with what's happening in the moment a lot of the time. So trust can be broken down into three areas: reliability, competence, and sincerity. And you can look at other people in these ways. For example, you may trust your doctor to be very competent at, for example, checking your pulse, but you don't take your car to the doctor because you don't believe that your doctor is competent at mechanics. This is the same with everybody, and in relationships we sometimes find ourselves saying, if I don't trust somebody, that means I don't love them. But actually it doesn't have to be that way. You may trust your partner to be absolutely fabulously kind to you. You may trust your partner to be completely reliable. When he or she says that he or she is going to do something, they do it. They show up when they say they're going to. Repeatedly, you've seen examples of them doing what they say they're going to do. That means that they're reliable. You may trust them to be completely sincere in the area of friendship and in the area of relationship, but perhaps they're a bit less sincere in the area of money and finance. It's not a good idea to say that you blanketly trust somebody in all areas without having some experience of them in the various areas. So this takes us into the topic of domains. There are lots of different domains of life, areas in which we can look at another person. And some areas we can trust somebody and some areas we can't. And that's not the same as saying that you love them. For example, if you have a small child, you may adore them, love them completely, but you might not trust them to, for example, drive the car. So the reason you don't trust them is because they're not competent. I'm sure they're very sincere that they want to drive the car, and they may be reliable. They may show up when you say, okay, let's go drive the car at 3 o'clock this afternoon. But if you can't trust somebody to be competent in an area, then it's not wise to hand it over to them. Sometimes in relationships we hand over complete blanket trust to somebody in all areas, and that's when we get burned. And that's it for today.